Hello everyone, my name is Rahul Mehrotra. I am the Research Director of Conservation Diving. With most of my research being in the vicinity of coral reefs, today I want to talk to you about something to do with sea slugs that they share with corals themselves, which is the relationship with microalgae known as Zooxanthellae. So, Zooxanthellae are dinoflagellates in the family Symbiodiniaceae. They are found in a variety of marine invertebrates, from giant clams to some jellyfish. They are also found in many hard and soft corals, typically being responsible for their color. The loss of the Zooxanthellae are what we call coral bleaching. So how does all of this relate to nudibranchs? Well, many nudibranchs appear to have evolved to have a relationship with Zooxanthellae, being able to keep the Zooxanthellae sequester to them in their bodies, and the Zooxanthellae stay functionally active, carrying out photosynthesis, and the nudibranchs, much like corals and the other invertebrates, feed on the sugars that the Zooxanthellae produce. Symbiosis with Zooxanthellae has been found in dozens of sea slug species across several families, with many of them having found to have evolved distinctive morphological features to facilitate the symbiosis. Most of the species that have been found to acquire Zooxanthellae from their prey. So the prey themselves have Zooxanthellae, and then the nudibranchs feed on that prey and sequester the Zooxanthellae in their body. So ecologically speaking, this is what we might call Kleptosymbiosis. Klepto meaning to steal, and symbiosis indicating a relationship between organisms. So, for example, in the genus Festila, the relationship with Zooxanthellae varies considerably across members of this genus. So, Festila melanobrachia, for example, feeds only on corals that do not have Zooxanthellae, and therefore they themselves cannot sequester the Zooxanthellae. They've not evolved to have that relationship. Other members host Zooxanthellae at high densities within their bodies, and yet others actively take up the Zooxanthellae and actually consume the Zooxanthellae themselves. So it's a very variable relationship. Other genera, such as Phylodesmium and Ptereolydia, take up Zooxanthellae from their prey, soft corals and hydrates. In the latter case, members of the genus Ptereolydia have been shown to host a high diversity of genera and species of Zooxanthellae within their tissues across their range. Interestingly, members of the genus Melibe have been shown to take up Zooxanthellae incidentally, passively, as they graze on microinvertebrates. So they feed on the microinvertebrates, and as they do so, Zooxanthellae from the water column and the seafloor around them is taken up and hosted in their bodies. Members of the species Melibe have been shown to survive up to 9 months without visibly feeding on anything else, suggesting that the Zooxanthellae in their tissues maintain sugars to keep them alive for that long. We found similar traits with the species Melibe viridis in Thailand. So the duration of how long the symbiosis can be maintained between the Zooxanthellae and the nudibranch has been shown to be variable across many different species and many different families. In that sense, it's similar to another feature called kleptoplasty, found in sacoglossan sea slugs. Now, kleptoplasty is remarkable, but it is not the subject of this chat, so you can learn about that elsewhere. Suffice to say that different species have evolved to have that capacity to different degrees. There is some evidence that the absence of sufficient prey of the nudibranchs or a change in environmental conditions can result in a partial or complete loss of Zooxanthellae from the nudibranch. This is akin to coral bleaching in hard and soft corals. And there has been shown that fecal pellets from many of these nudibranch species have a high density of living, viable Zooxanthellae cells, meaning the Zooxanthellae are ingested, are retained in the body, and then passed out by the nudibranch, which is something that they share with their distant cousins, the giant clams. This has been shown in them too. This suggests that nudibranchs might play an interesting role in the redistribution of Zooxanthellae across coral reefs. So that's everything I have to talk about today. I hope some of you learned something new, and for those that are still awake, here is a pretty picture. Thanks for listening.